What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Cozy Cloud Media Podcast with your host, Veana. And I'm so excited because we are on episode 4. And I can't believe we made it to episode 4. This is exciting. Shout out to the new 100 subscribers that I have on YouTube and the 2,000 plus following that I have on TikTok. This page is going to steady grow, and it's going to keep building and becoming a community of like-minded people who have the same healing journey, which I am excited for, and I'm so excited to see. So we talked about healing and growth, gratitude and awareness, and 12 things that I would tell my younger self that I know now. And on episode 4, I decided that I wanted to talk about relationships and knowing your worth. And shout out to the person on TikTok who brought this to my attention. I was thinking, I've got out of my toxic relationship finally, not 2 years ago, it was almost a year ago. I finally let that person go. And I want people to understand, it took everything in me to choose myself in this scenario, because I knew that I wasn't going to be the one to walk away, because I'm such a lover. I love love. I love taking care of somebody. I love the idea of just having somebody. And so that person decided to move out of state, and that forced me to really choose myself. And it was not easy finding myself again. While I was in a relationship, I became them. It was one person with him. And when I left, I had to remember that I am independent. I am my own person. I don't need him. And I want to tell that person too, who suggested this as a topic. When you're detaching from something, it's going to be hard. You are literally letting go of something that either brought you joy, happiness, even pain. It brought you some kind of feeling. So it's going to be hard to just let that go, So I never say the healing journey is going to be easy when it comes to relationships, because first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. Your body knows when you need to be done. Before I feel like your heart does, I feel like your body physically does things to shoot you messages to be like, hey, this is not a safe environment for us. Hey, get us out of here. Whether it's you getting sick all the time, whether you have a headache, whether you can't sleep, you can't eat, that's your body telling you whoever you're around, whatever environment you're in is not for you. Your body will tell you before your heart does, because your heart might be so in love with that person because you see the potential in them, but their potential is not giving. They're not giving anything, but your body knows that. So you get these intuition gut kicks. That pit in your stomach that happens when you hear them lie, or the anxiety in your chest when you see something you shouldn't have. Yeah, that's your body letting you know you need to leave. You need to let go. And so I remember I was getting so sick in both of the toxic relationships that I had recently, that literally when I say I was getting sick, I remember we went to Outback, and I love Outback. I think it's a great place. Never ever got sick before. Ended up throwing up for 4 or 5 hours off the same exact meal that I had. But you know why? It's because I had a gut feeling he was doing something on his phone when he went outside. And you know what? I was correct. But my body was telling me before I could even put 2 and 2 together. My mindset is so I'm done. You show me one time that this might not be it and I'm leaving. I don't want to go back in survival mode. You can get through this without giving them the power. One thing that I wish I could tell myself, who was in the toxic relationship, who's going through the breakup process of don't call him, don't text him, don't do nothing. Literally, don't reach out. Be that one person that finally leaves them fully alone. And you will never, dude, the power you will hold over never communicating with that person again, especially if that person was a narcissist. They're going to wonder what you did and how you got away. Don't even give them anything and see what happens. You'll see how many people get angry if you don't react. When I never reacted, and I saw how certain people reacted to me not reacting to them, it just made me realize that I'm so glad that I didn't show out, because they did it for me. The amount of people that will jump to conclusions and assumptions if you give them nothing is insane, because they want something to fit their narrative of why you are no longer talking to them. They will find anything to put it as you as the bad guy, to put you as the bad guy. They'll find anything. And that's why I be telling people, the best thing you can do when you're breaking up with somebody is to ghost them. And not in the way of like, don't tell them that you're breaking up, but let them know that like, this is done. This is not happening. We need to stop, and you need to give space. And when space is given, I need y'all to understand. My friends, when I was going through that relationship, would tell me over and over again, y'all just need space. Y'all just need space, because we were living together. Y'all need time. Y'all need time. Just give it like a second. Like if y'all are meant to be, y'all come back. If y'all are not to be, you're not going to come back. I didn't want to believe them about the space thing, because listen, I've been with this person every single day. Like I attached myself to them, right? But the second I got space, after I got over the few months of not being able to eat and not being able to sleep and always waking up with anxiety. I mean, that was the worst, is waking up with that chest feeling and in that pit of your stomach that makes you kind of want to throw up. I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. But once I got over that, I was so grateful that people suggested space. And I was so grateful that we decided that and we stuck to it. Because I remember one of my friends was telling me how one of my exes basically told them, Veana looks happier now that she's not in a relationship. And that is true. I do look happier now that I'm not worrying about somebody who does not value me and does not support me or care for me in the ways that I need that. A lot of people date people without really getting to know them. We seem to like skip the step of getting to know somebody because we either fuck our way into a relationship or we get love bombed our way into a relationship. And when I say love bombed, I'm talking about that person that literally will talk you up. Talk. But when it's time to walk that walk, baby, they are nowhere to be found. That is love bombing. Literally, when they show you in like 3 months just all hardcore love, and then 1 month later it's blank. That's love bombing. They couldn't keep up that facade. That's why they love bombed you. They couldn't keep it up. But we literally skipped a whole stage, which is called getting to know your partner. And I always preached about, I need to see you angry. I need to see you grieving. I need to see you sad. I need to see all these wide range of emotions and see how you handle that before I can commit to you. And I messed up this summer by committing to somebody way too fast because I was riding these good feelings, the love bomb. I was getting love bombed and I realized it, but I was kind of like a little bit stubborn. I was like, I don't want to leave right away, but I want to see where this goes. You know what I mean? But I kind of knew I was getting love bombed. But anyways, I committed before I got to know them. And so when they were going through a tough time, they showed me how they would act and I didn't like it. I'm sorry, but I was like, no, this is why I shouldn't have committed to this person. Because if I would have stayed with them and stayed through that time period of how they were acting, I think that I would have gone crazy. The one thing that I'm so proud of myself on is that I didn't go back. This is the first person that I just completely just was like, okay, we're done. All right, cool. And I think it's because we didn't date that long, but it's also because I realized I didn't want to do the repeat. She, unfortunately, is somebody that will not be in my cycle. I usually cycle people all the time. Like I go back to my exes a lot because they're comforting. I feel like we go back to our exes because it's easier, literally, to go back to somebody that you talk to all the time who already knows you. Like it's easier to just fall back into that, even if it's toxic. It's just easier. But I don't want easy, you know, and I don't want something that's going to be like, I want change. I want something that's going to put me out of my comfort zone and something that's probably going to challenge me to be better. I do want a challenge. I want somebody that's going to be like, oh, you want to get this done? Cool. I'm going to motivate you to get this done. I'm going to challenge you to get this done. You know, I want somebody who, if in an argument, they're choosing to tell me, okay, we need to speak like adults. We need to work this out. We need to communicate. That's what I want, you know? And I feel like most of the people that I dated brought out a side of me of just like childish energy. Like, I always joke about this, but it's really not that funny. But if any of my exes drop any of the text message threads that we have, I'm pretty sure I'd get canceled, only because I get so mean when I'm just done. When I am so angry at somebody and I know that I genuinely don't care if they're in my life anymore, I say some of the lowest, meanest things. And that's also why I wanted to work on myself, because I cut deep. I don't do superficial stuff. I cut deep to your heart. I don't want to be seen as that person that blows up on somebody romantically, platonically, doesn't matter. All because they said this, that, and the third. Like, I want to be that person that they wonder why I never came back. I don't want to be that person, because I got tired of fighting for something that didn't want to be fought for. Toxic relationships are very tricky to talk about too, because for a while I couldn't even like talk about my own trauma in the relationship, because I felt like people thought that I wanted them back if I kept talking about them. But I also realized I had to talk about my experiences, because the more I brought up, like, heard myself say what I was saying, I was like, damn, this is really messed up. Like, this is what you went through. This is really messed up. Like, girl. So, and every time I speak it out loud and I ever think to myself, if I ever want to go back to anybody that I was with, I'm gonna start speaking out all the horrible things they did to me, so I can really hear myself and really hear how stupid I sound to go back to someone like that. Literally. Every time I think about that, I kind of laugh, because I'm like, I think about some of the things that happened to me in my relationship. And I think about how the universe and my body gave me every opportunity to leave, and I still stayed. And it just amazes me that I can even sit here and tell y'all that. But I will say, everything that I'm telling you, I didn't implement into my life until like 2 years later. I got into that toxic relationship from 2019 to 2021, I believe. Yeah. And it was a roller coaster, okay? But it took me 2 full years to heal from it. But I will say, and I talked about this, I think, in my 3rd episode, if one of my exes did come up in a room, I would still have a panic attack, only because I'm not fully healed from the trauma that I experienced in that time period. I'm healed from the fact that I know that I don't want to go back. I know that I'm not that person that took that abuse back then. And I know better now. And that ties into knowing your worth. When people say you can love somebody without loving yourself, like, it happens all the time. That's true. But it helps to love yourself so you don't get put in a situation where, if you love that person more than you love yourself, that they'll just do anything and everything to you. That is why it's important to love yourself, so you know your worth. So you know that if they start doing things and moving weird, that you can remove yourself quick. And that's why it's important to love yourself before you love somebody more than you love yourself. You gotta value yourself and respect yourself enough to know that if you love somebody that heavy and they start doing you dirty, you have to leave. You have to leave. There's no discussion. There's no reason that you have all those sleepless nights. There's no reason that you're constantly fighting. Constantly fighting in a relationship is not healthy. I don't care what nobody says. Yes, it could be fun for some people, but it's not healthy. Tense fights, that's okay. Communication that gets a little heated, that's okay. But fighting over things like, did you call me back? Did you text me back? Things like, share your location with me. If you don't, you're cheating on me. Things like, oh, why did you follow that girl? That's not normal. That's not normal things to fight about. I mean, it's just not. I was about to say, yeah, no, it's really not. No. Fighting in general, I can't wait until I find a partner that, like I said in the beginning of this podcast, like, who gives me healthy communication. Because I no longer, oh my God, I feel like the theme is survival mode. I feel like I'm so sick of being in survival mode when it comes to my relationships, whether it's platonically or romantically. I'm constantly on guard, always. And I'm tired of doing that. I want to let my guard down for somebody who allows me to be soft, allows me to feel comforted, allows me to feel safe. I want to feel safe with someone. I don't want to feel like I have to put up all these protective gear to like even sit in the same room with them. I don't want that. Love yourself first before you fall into another relationship, because it's going to benefit you to respect yourself and to know your worth when you get into any relationship, because you're not going to let nobody play with you when you love yourself. You're not going to let nobody tell you who you are when you love yourself. You're not going to let nobody play games with you when you love yourself. That's why it's important to love yourself first before you fall in love. And everybody talks about how it's so cliche talking about the self-love journey, but it's important. It's so important because it plays a factor in how you show up for yourself and how you show up for others. Always. The self-love journey is important for how you show up for yourself and how you show up for others. If you cannot show up for yourself, how do you expect to show up for others? It's important for you to show up for yourself. Like, don't answer that phone early in the morning if you know you can't absorb anything. Don't text anybody back until you're ready. Don't check your email until you're ready. Don't post until you're ready. Like, there's so many things that play a factor, and don't do this until you're ready. All right, protect your peace. Show up for yourself. Pour into your own cup first. Everybody's cup is different, but you don't have to give everybody everything and you left with nothing. Make sure your cup is always medium or halfway, or it's just full. Make sure your cup is healthy. I just want to say thank you again for the 100 subscribers, and thank you again for the 2,000 plus people watching me. I hope you have a great night, and episode 4, yeah, we're done on the Cozy Cloud Media Podcast. Good night.